Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share a really fun easel card that I made. It's an oval easel. It looks like that. It stands up. It's just gorgeous. It's using the Altenew Bearded Iris layering die set, which is what these irises are. I love irises. These look exactly like some in my garden, so love those. And it's just a shaped easel. And you use just nesting dies to make this. You don't need any special, other than the layering die for the decoration. You don't need any special die to create the easel card. I'll show you how to do it. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start by making the card base. The same principle applies to any shape. So if you want to make a shaped card base, really using any shape, the same principle applies. This just happens to be an oval. So if you've seen my channel before, you've seen where I've created a shaped card base by taking a die and taking a card base where it's folded and having the die overhang, the fold of the die, and then that'll keep it connected. Here's how to do it if you don't have enough room. And I wanted to make a shaped oval, and this oval is almost 7 inches tall. So if I tried to hang that over a fold, I'd need a piece of card that's 14 inches, and I didn't have that. So here's a way you can do it, and this is an easel card with any shape at all. And as long as your die fits on a piece of card, you can do it. So to make a shaped easel card, well, let's start by making a shaped card. If you just want to make an oval shaped card, you cut 2 of the same size in cardstock and then ignore that fold. You just put a little fold, a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch from the top. You glue that together, and now you've got a shaped card base. See? Right? Now to make an easel, you take that same, you get 3 pieces of the same size shaped card, and on one of them, you're going to set it this way, and at the top, I scored this at 1/2 inch. And then because this oval is about 7 inches, I scored at 3.5. Okay. So this is a 7-inch high oval. I scored at 1/2 inch and 3.5. And then you want to create like a valley fold at that top and a mountain fold there. And then when you connect this onto the base, which is just another piece of white card, exactly the same, just glue on that tab right there. You're going to attach it like that, and then you've got your easel shaped card base. Okay? But I'm going to mat and layer first, because the one thing this method does do is, and I'll show you, when you line it up and you glue that together, now when you mat and layer the inside, see, it's not a full oval. So I'm going to go ahead and mat and layer my base first, then I'm going to glue that on. Otherwise, you have to kind of do your mats and layers and then cut it off. And you could do that, but I think it's just easier to do it this way. So for mats and layers for this card, I used lavender and gold. So I just used oval nesting dies. And so I cut one the same size as the white in lavender. And then I cut down 2 nesting dies. So this is the 7 inch. And then I went down 2. Let me get them out here. So these are my nesting dies in size order. So I took that largest of the 3 and cut that. And then at the same time, I cut not the next one down, but the second to the next one down there. And then I cut the center one, the one between those 2, in gold. And in this one, you can see I cut a layer out because I'm going to use that for my mat, for my sentiment layer and my stopper. But it's not going to show because they're going to be layered. So it's 3 nesting dies in order. The first one is lavender, the third one is the lavender in the center of that one, and the middle one is the gold. And I'm going to layer those up on top of the white, which is going to be the very bottom, the inside of my card. So we'll start, and it doesn't matter that you cut this out, you're just saving, I mean, this is Centura Pearl cardstock, and I didn't want to waste it by having, you know, cutting a full layer that's basically just covered up anyway. It's not going to show, so you might as well cut out the center. Now, I wouldn't cut out the center of, you know, I'd be careful, like, you don't want to, like, I wouldn't cut this super thin as well, because then if you did too many layers, especially like if you did foam tape, the center is going to sink, and you don't want that. But for this, and I'm making it flat, I'm not using dimensional foam tape, so it doesn't matter. I mean, you'll see, you would notice it, but I'm going to put a sentiment on top on foam tape, so once you do that, you're really not going to notice the center's kind of lower. So we're just going to layer this up. Lavender, gold, and then lavender. Just using my tacky glue. Try and get the ovals all lined up. Okay, now I'm going to take my layer with my scores. So you got a 1/2 inch and the 3.5 inch score, and I'm going to put glue just on that 1/2 inch piece, just on that tab. Okay, then get it all lined up. Once you get it all lined up, push that tab down and let that glue grab. And now, see, I've got your shaped card base with the mats and layers. And because I've got that other score, I've got an easel card. Now to create my easel, I've got another white oval, exactly the same size, and I've got mats and layers essentially exactly the same as the bottom. And I'm just gonna do that same process over again. I'm just gonna put some clips on there to hold that and make sure that glue dries. Now to create my easel, you wanna take just below this fold, put glue on there. You can line that up. And glue it down. Okay, and that creates your shaped oval easel. Okay, just like that. And this works for any shape, a circle, a square, a diamond, any shape that you want. Now I'm just going to leave those clips on there to help that glue dry while I put together my flowers. On this one, I'm going to use the Altenew Bearded Iris layering die. It's a new one that I just got. And I've cut these all out of white cardstock. And this one uses the keyhole system, which if you've never seen it or used it, it's amazing. It's super easy to do. They just have these little shaped holes in the bottom. And then this one says 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, you know, these go on. They have instructions that you can follow, but the keyhole system just makes it super, super easy. I am going to do some inking beforehand. I've got 3 shades of purple that I'm going to use. So I'm going to start with the lightest purple, which these are Spectrum Noir Harmony Water Reactive inks, and this is in the Pale Fig. And I'm just going to essentially cover the entire petal in Pale Fig, because I don't want it white, but I don't want it dark purple either. Now I could have just cut it out of purple cardstock, but I like the looks of inking white cardstock because I think it gives it a little more texture. I don't know if you can see how the purple's not solid like it would be if it was a colored cardstock. It's not a solid purple, and so I think it just gives it a little more realistic look to it, because it gets kind of a mottled color where it's sort of got some shades and some whites in there and all of that. So I like that look. That's why I often do my layered flowers out of white cardstock and then ink them, as opposed to using. If you're not sure about shading, just kind of look at the picture, and as you're putting your flower together, I can see, I'll put this up here, maybe it'll help. You can see right here, this is this petal right there, and this petal is that one right there. And then this one, oops, that one's supposed to be green. Well, my mistake, I think. And this one too. All right, well, I'll make those green in a minute. That's why you look at it before you start inking. Now I'm going to take my middle shade of purple and basically what I did on this one is I just went around all the edges. I didn't want to make it purple. I just wanted the edges to be darker. So that's my middle purple. And now I'm going to take my darkest purple, which in this one is damson wine, and I'm going to go from essentially what would be the center of the flower and really darken that center of the flower. And try to just blend it so that it doesn't look like a harsh line where the center of the flower, the darkness ends and the lighter purple starts. So there's those. And I already did the leaves and the stem in this dark, in the greens. And now I'm going to put my flower together. So again, you're following your keyhole numbers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these go on the top over to cover up that keyhole. So you start with 1, put some just line up the hole at the bottom. See, it has a little like an arrow shaped hole. And there's 2 flowers, and the 2 flowers each have a different shape. So you know which petals go with which flower. There's 3. I'll put just a little bit of glue. I don't want to glue the whole thing down, but I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that petal to hold the flower together. Okay, I got 4. It's there. And these are my little stamens. I cut those in white cardstock as well, and I just inked them with yellow, this goldy yellow, which is honey pot. Okay, so there's 4. And then we put these 2 on. This one goes, and you can see how it lines up right there. So that's going to go there. And I'm just going to kind of shape it a little bit. And I'm just going to attach it in the center, just like a real flower, where it's attached in the center, but not out here. Okay. And same with this one. This one goes right there. So again, I'm going to attach that in the center, but not all the way back, because I want that petal to kind of look 3D. Okay. And then we put our little stamens in. One goes up here. One goes right there. then this one goes down here to basically, oh, I gotta get a stem. I put my flower on a stem. And this goes over the top to hide that. And then this one is on the very top to hide the keyhole. And there's my flowers. Now that I got my flowers done, I can come back to my circle easel and I'm going to arrange my flowers. So I've got my other one here, and then I've got a bunch of foliage that I'm going to put on here. I'm going to start with my flowers, and then I'll slip my foliage in. And I'm going to use my 3D Claw Glue Gel. Now, if you wanted, you could trim those leaves off to be within the card. I'm not going to. I'm fine with that. And now the last thing is to put a stopper in, because it's an easel card. So I've got another oval. I told you I cut that, remember I cut the gold out of the middle of one of them, and then I cut the white one, just one smaller, and then I stamped Live Life in Full Bloom and some foliage in gold ink. I'm just going to mount that on there with some foam tape, and then mount this with this gold with some foam tape, and I'll be all done. And you just lift up your easel, decide where you want your stopper, and then kind of move it around to make sure that it's straight and even, which is why I put wet glue on the foam tape. And there we're done. Isn't that gorgeous? Love how that came out. It folds, you know, not completely flat, but mostly flat. But then it stands up and is just absolutely beautiful. And those irises are amazing. Love those. All right. Well, thanks for watching.